Notion forms are already here and they're gonna change the way that you use Notion to run your business and your team nowadays. And in today's video, I'm gonna show you why are they so important and everything you need to know in order to create them. So let's get into it. If you're new here, hi, my name is Anna Kuchart and I create custom systems for founders so they can run their business in peace. Let's begin with why are they so important. So as you probably know already, the secret to use Notion efficiently is to start working with databases. Because number one, they allow you to store a bunch of information in a more organized way. But then number two, you can also relate multiple databases. So everything is connected on the backend and it's way much easier to work as a team. What happens with databases is that they have a huge pain point, and that's the process of creating new data. And let's see it with an example so it's more clear. Let's say, for example, that you're a software company and you guys are developing a new app. And in order to do so, of course, you need to report all the bugs that you find along the way. The two options that we had before in order to create these new bugs was number one, to go wherever we had this database to store all the bugs and manually go in there, click the new page, and then just enter and complete all the information for this new bug that we were creating. Let's say that you just go along and complete all the properties. Or number two, if we're like a little bit step forward, we would also use the different buttons in order to, let's say that you have your front, like your main dashboard with like all the buttons and all the tasks for today. And just with a click of a button, it allows you to create a new bug, even though that database might be hidden and stored in a more secure place. So you can just go in here, create all new bug and just complete and fulfill in here all the data, and then the data is going to be stored in the database. But with both these situations, you need to be inside Notion in order to create this data. And that's not useful 100% of the time. Because what happens in reality is that you're doing your stuff, you're testing your stuff, and then you find a new bug. And the first thing you do if you're working with a team is you go to Slack and say, hey team, I just found this, please solve it. Or like, hey, FYI, here's a new bug. You don't need to like stop whatever you're doing and then go inside Notion and then go find the database and then input all the information for the bug. It's like there are so many steps in between that it's way much easier to just say to some developer, hey, here's a new bug. So because of this, it was like really hard to like track all the different tasks for a team or all the different bugs or all these different kinds of information that you really want to store in a database, but there's no easy access for it to put the information inside the database. And that's why Notion Forms change it all, because now instead of having to manually go inside Notion and go find that database or just go find that button, click it and input all the details, we just need to complete this form and then all the information is going to be automatically stored in that database. And that means that these forms can be used by someone internal inside your team, but also for some externals, like your clients, potential leads, or someone you're just collaborating with. So now, anytime that a teammate of yours just pings you in Slack saying, hey, here's a new bug, and he just shares all the information inside Slack, you just need to copy and paste the link to this form, send it to them, and then all the information, it's going to be automatically inside your system. And now let's see how can we set it up. Alright, so to create a form from your workspace, we have two different options. The first is, how do I create a form if we are starting from scratch? And the second is, how do we create a form if we have already an existing database? So if we start with the first one, which is way much quicker, in order to create a new form from scratch, the only thing you need to go is go anywhere, any page inside your Notion workspace, you click the slash bar and you just type in form, just like that. And with that, you already have a form from which you can go in and custom write all the titles and all the questions, adjust the kind of questions that you want to work with. But then you automatically have a second tab, which is going to store all the responses once this form starts to be used. But then if you want to create a form from an already existing database that you have, you just need to do as it follows. First, you're gonna go to the original database that you already created. In this case, we have our bugs database right here. And you just need to create a new view with the type forms. So we're gonna click in here and you're gonna see that we can create a different view with like many different layouts, but we're gonna choose the latest one that says form. And with that, it's gonna ask, do you want to create it with 5 questions? Because our database already has 5 properties, and this is gonna create automatically one individual question for each one of the properties that we have. So we're gonna say yes, and from them, we're just gonna adapt them and delete the ones that we just don't need. And just like that, we already have a form more or less ready with 5 different questions which belong to the different 5 properties that we created for our forms. So in this case, for the forms database, we have the name of the bug, to which version does it belong, when is like the start date that the reported discovered this bug, to attach any screenshots or videos, a short description of the bug, and then the reported, like who found the original bug. So from the form, we already have them in form of different questions. So we just need to come in here and modify it a little bit. So let's edit a title, for example, report a new bug. We can also rearrange the order of the questions. And if we click in the menu inside each one of the questions, you will see that we also have more options in order to set it up. For example, we can set them as required, and we can also add a short description if you think that it's needed. And then the last but most important thing I would say is who are you sharing this form with? So in order to check it, you just need to go at the very top. If you go to the preview section, you're gonna literally see a preview of how your forums looks like in order to make sure that you have all the questions and that everything is running smoothly. But then in order to share it with like your teammates or even someone external from your team, you just need to click share form, and then you're gonna have different options. The first thing that you will see at the top is the link to this specific form, so you can like copy and paste it and share it with your teammates. But then you can also choose who do you want to be able to fill out this form. So if we click in here, we will have 3 different options. The first one is share it with anyone inside the same workspace, and this is meant to just be shared inside your internal team. Then we have the second option, which is literally share it with anyone in public, so you can create a form, embed it to a Notion page already, and if this page is set as a Notion site, which means it's like this kind of website available to everyone, you can have this form embedded in there, and then anyone that lands into that Notion site from yours, they're gonna be able to like read the form, complete it with all of your details, and that's gonna be received inside your workspace automatically. And then we have the final option, which is just have no access if you want to just close this form. So as you can see, they are really helpful because you can use them for many different reasons. So as I was saying, if you want to use them internally with your team, you can just create forms to report new books or just create new tasks or create new projects, and then it's easier to just reassign them to whoever needs to work on that specific task. But then if you want to share it externally, you can embed them to your website in order to get new leads, use them to get feedback from your products, or you can even build a full hiring system for your team. So if you're already using Notion to run your business and you already have different databases, I highly encourage you to try the forms because you're gonna see how easily they fit. But if you're feeling overwhelmed and you just think that this is way too much, do not worry, go check the description below because you will find my free guide. It's called 7 Ways to Organize Your Business with Notion, and I explain you everything from scratch, step by step, with different pictures and layouts, so you can just get along, get used to Notion, and for sure get inspired. And as always, if you have any question on how to use Notion to run your specific business, go ahead and book a quick discovery call with me so we can meet and you can explain everything you're going through with more detail, and I will tell you how can I help. Thank you so much for making it this far, and I will see you in the next one.